Welcome to our Planting Positivity podcasts. You're going to be listening to the fabulous Jenny Eden, an award-winning author and life coach. You can follow Jenny on Twitter, JennyEden84. There's also a Planting Positivity page on Facebook. But for now, just sit back and enjoy the show.
A magical tool for releasing the fears. What I'm going to show you in this episode is so important to explain properly that it will need 2 episodes. So I'd like you to get a tissue. This tissue is going to represent a particular emotion that you have, whether it be fear, anger, rage, guilt. I'm going to demonstrate to you the Sedona method by Hale Dworskin, the method that helped me overcome my fears and still continues to. So, I want you to think of a certain event or word or sentence that will trigger off the feeling that you'd like to be free of. I want it to be a feeling that makes you feel around 8, 9 or 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you are perfectly relaxed, at ease and happy, and 10 is you're feeling terrible, over-emotional or depressed. I want you to revisit the feeling by replaying whatever it is that will take you right back to it. As you replay the scene or saying, I want you to hold the tissue. Hold the tissue as if it was that feeling. This only needs to be done once this way as a demonstration. After that, you can simply feel the feelings. But for now, make sure the tissue is scrunched tightly into your hand. You can see it as emotion in general, or you can even think of a specific emotion and event. Now, I want you to stretch out your arm. Bring it up to shoulder level and bring tension into your fingers. Dig the fingers in. Bring tension into the wrist, the arm, and the shoulder, and keep it up there. Make sure your arm and wrist are unsupported, because I want this to get uncomfortable for you. This is an unpleasant emotion, so don't dwell on why you have it. Do not dwell on whether it's justified or not. Don't overthink it or try to explain it. Do not try to explain the unpleasant emotion. Simply check your feelings and realize that it is unpleasant. Having emotions that are angry, fearful, sad are not a problem. The problem lies with holding on to those emotions. Now, whilst your arm is fully outstretched, tight, and becoming more and more uncomfortable, I'm going to ask you 4 questions. You don't have to answer aloud, but answer them in your head as I ask them. The 4 questions are as follows. 1. Do you want to feel this way? 2. Could you let it go? 3. Would you let it go? 4. When? So let's go into these a little bit more. Number 1, do you want to feel this? The choice is yours. You feel it because you've chosen to think it. So if you can answer no, then you can move on to question 2. If you can't answer no, then you have to keep thinking of the feeling until you can say, no, you don't want to feel this way. Then number 2, could you let this feeling go? Again, the choice is yours, not anyone else's. So could you choose to let it go? Could you choose to no longer think about it? Could you choose to let the thought go and so with it let the feeling go? If you can answer yes, then you can move on to question 3. If you can't answer yes, go back to question 1. If you've decided you could let it go, then the real question is number 3. Would you let it go? You would be surprised by how many people are actually attached to their role as victim. Remember the woe is me, my story is so bad, much worse than yours, the ones that whine and moan non-stop but do not actually want to change. You would be surprised how many of us use our stories to define us. So getting rid of the bad feeling can make us feel afraid at losing our identity. So don't be surprised if this question suddenly raises lots of resistance. Many people like to carry their upset and anger around with them because for a long time it has been their identity. However, I doubt it's bringing you the results you want. So the question is, do you want better results? I have struggled over and over at this point in the Sedona method. No, I don't want to feel the way I do, and yes, I agree in theory that I could let it go, but a part of me wants to try to work out why I feel the way I do, and to try and solve the problem before letting it go. The truth is, sometimes you can't fix a problem. Sometimes you can't even get to the root of the problem because it's so old and has been buried for so long. So I have to force my questioning back to, do I want to feel this way? Then could I let it go? I try to override myself when I go into a big justifying spiel as to why my case is different, why it's not a simple case of letting go. When you eventually manage to get to the place where you can answer yes to would you let it go, then you can move on to the last question, which is when. If you agree that letting it go could set you free, if you agree that removing the bad thoughts can allow you to think better ones, that letting go could shift something in you that will allow you to be more open to success and open to the thing that you want to manifest, then are you going to choose to do it next week, after your holiday, after you've lost some weight, tomorrow when you have a quieter schedule? No. You must decide that if you're going to let it go, you need to do it now. Because your future starts now, this very moment. When you decide to let it go, and let the tissue drop to the floor. Now, how do you feel? Is it a relief? The initial letting go will hopefully have you feeling a little relieved. So in your journal, write these questions. You can then keep referring to them as you practice this method. In time, you will know them, but initially it's good to have a record. Number 1, do you want to feel this way? Number 2, could you let it go? Number 3, would you let it go? Number 4, when? When you notice any kind of negative feeling, ask yourself these 4 questions and just answer them honestly, and you will feel this amazing light wash over you. Sometimes on the first go, you feel nothing. It's a bit like plates in a hotel buffet rack. You take the feeling and another one pops up straight away. So release on it and continue to release on it. This is the most important point. Do not stop releasing on the feeling until it has gone all the way down the scale to a 1. Repeatedly ask yourself the 4 questions in the same order until you notice you feel better. After each round of questions, revisit the scene, the sentence, the emotion, and check how it feels on a scale of 1 to 10. Initially, it can be hard to be the person to ask the questions, so get a friend to ask them for you. Keep going until the feeling has gone, until you feel good, until you feel happy. You ought to notice after each round of questions 2 things. Number 1, your feeling scale will slowly reduce from 10 down to a 2, but hopefully a 1, until the feeling disappears. And the other thing you'll notice, you will find it harder and harder to trace back the scenario, the sentence, or the feeling. It seems harder and harder to recreate the vision and feeling. And this is because your subconscious is letting it go, so it can no longer get in your way. Sometimes you will notice a huge shift as something you've held on to slips away. If you release on it fully, it will never come back. So keep releasing on anything and everything that makes you feel bad. Here's a clue. If you do not feel bright, cheerful and happy, you have something somewhere to release on. Now, I've instructed many in this method, and many take it fully on board, and as a result, they change their lives. Others believe they do not have much to release on and hardly practice the Sedona. And guess what? They're not bright, joyful, enthusiastic, or happy. They are surviving, but not thriving. I believe everyone will have numerous things to release on. Past mistakes, past fears, from any part of life. I've been using the Sedona method since December 2009. I do it daily. I often do it hourly. My life has dramatically changed as a result. But even I have felt very resistant to trying the Sedona method at times. And that is because my amygdala was activated and wanting to block me from releasing. Because the releasing truly sets you free and puts you in control. As you release, feel that tingling sensation. Feel your emotions welling. You might even feel tired. You might want to cry or laugh, but allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to finally be free from whatever holds you back. Keep releasing. In a very short time, you will feel amazing. Until next time, love and light.
Thank you for catching our amazing podcast, How to Plant Positivity to Sow Seeds for Success with Jenny Eden, an award-winning author and life coach. Keep listening, and in no time you'll be thriving and blooming. Jenny is looking forward to sharing the journey with you. For more information on how to plant your positivity seeds, read more about Jenny online, jennyeden.com, or follow her on Twitter, jennyeden84. That's Jenny with an I, not a Y. Thanks for listening.